I work in elderly care. My job involves driving around at night, responding to the alarms we give them that they can set off if they need help. This one night, an alarm was going off and I was heading over to the place. I'm usually alone on this job, but I can call in others for help if necessary. I opened the door to the resident's home and went in. There was this weird smell hanging in the air, not the usual old people smell. I can't really describe it. It was dark, and I was standing in the hallway looking into the living room. I turned on the hallway light, and now I could just barely see a shadowy person sitting in the chair. I called out his name. There was no answer. I could only see the person lean a little bit forward. I went further into the hallway to get a better look, closer to the living room, when I saw that his bedroom door was open. I could see someone laying in his bed. I was confused, so I went to his bedside, turned on the light, and saw him laying there asleep. In disbelief, I slowly backed out into the hallway, looking to the chair. Only now there was no one there. I turned on every light in the house and didn't find anyone. The resident woke up at that point and was happy to see me, but he asked what I was doing there. I just told him there must be some malfunction in the alarm system and helped him get back into bed again. Needless to say, I didn't work that job for a very long time. I work as a late-night concierge for an apartment building. I'm pretty much alone in the dark at the front desk with nothing but the computer monitor glow for light. The hallways are very long and windowless, and on particularly long nights when I start to get tired, it can really set me on edge. Sometimes I'll see dark shapes dart in and out of the corners of my vision, the shapes of people moving up and down the dark end of the hallways, and often I think I'll hear people call out to me. But I know I'm alone. After all, it's 4 in the morning. The most paranormal thing I encountered here is one time I was walking by the workout room and thought I saw a tenant running on her favorite treadmill. I kept walking, paused in confusion, and then went back around for a second glance. She was an elderly woman who had passed away a month earlier, who was always known for using the same treadmill when she exercised. She obviously wasn't there when I went to look again. I wait tables at my aunt's restaurant. One night, I was closing up, and the only people left in the building were this couple who were taking their time. The woman went downstairs to use the bathroom, which was located in the basement. After a few minutes, she came rushing back up to the stairs, said something quietly to the man, and they both left. Outside, the guy waved me over. I asked, "Is everything okay, sir?" He said, "I don't know. My wife saw something weird downstairs. Said some woman was crying or something." He handed me enough cash for the bill and tip, and said, "Sorry, she's kind of freaked out," and then he just shrugged and walked out. The concern on my mind was that some woman had gotten raped down there during dinner rush or something and no one had found her. I went downstairs and called out, "Ma'am, everything okay?" No answer. I walked around the basement hallway, opening up bathroom doors. I didn't find anything. I was heading back upstairs when I stopped dead in my tracks at the sound of a woman sobbing. I called out again, "Ma'am, are you okay? Where are you?" There was no answer, and the sobbing stopped. I looked around some more, then headed back, and began to hear even more sobs. I just said, "Okay, forget this," and headed back upstairs. I looked down as I turned off the light, and just before it went off, I saw this middle-aged looking woman in sort of pre-World War II style clothing looking up at me from the bottom of the steps. Let me tell you, I don't use that bathroom anymore. This was my first time ever working night shift at all. I was working with a small-time construction company on one of their job locations. Me and one other employee, which happens to be the only other employee in the company other than the owner, it's really small. Well, the job is to demolish and reconstruct because rich people have a lot of money to toss away. What made this job in particular a headache was that it's an hour and 45-minute drive there every day, so me and my coworker decided to stay the night inside of the half-demolished building. It was a nasty idea. We knew rats would be running over us in our sleep, but at this point we were filthier than the rats themselves, and we just needed the extra money from working overtime. Later in the night, creepy things started to happen. Whispers, unseen hands touching us, and deep silence all throughout the woods that surrounded the house. What highlighted this was that there was actually a very recent death in that same house, so that was food for the thought. And it didn't help that this was an old hillbilly shack built in 1902, but we weren't bothered by that. In spite of all this, we were pretty okay with things suddenly appearing in different places. It's just that it felt like we were being watched by something the whole time. We stayed the night on multiple occasions. Sometimes the storms were so bad that we were forced to stay, and that meant that we were trapped in with whatever was in there. Not much noteworthy happened beyond that, but it was not a good first night shift.